Welcome to Coach Taylor's Class Notes. So real quick, we're going to review something that we learned last unit, which is how to find the slope with only 2 points. So first we need our slope formula, which is slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So anytime they give us points, I'm going to label them x1, y1, because x always comes first in points, x2, y2. So now I need to plug these into my formula. So y2 is 3, then I put my minus, y1 is 5, then I put x2, which is 2, put my minus for my formula, and then I put my negative from 1. Now a real quick reminder, anytime we have two negatives, they become a positive. So we're going to rewrite that, not 2 plus 3, 2 plus 1. I'm jumping ahead of myself. So now 3 minus 5 is going to be a negative 2, and then 2 plus 1 is 3. And so we get a negative 2/3. And so that's just a real quick reminder of how we can find slope with 2 points. And remember, we can also plug this into Desmos. And it will help us with that math if we're struggling with how to find that. So today we need 3 important formulas. We need our slope formula, which is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We also need our point slope form, y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. And then finally, we need our slope intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Now, all 3 of these will be on your formula chart on test day as well as star test day. So let's talk about how we write an equation when they only give us 2 points. So we always need our m and we always need our b. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to find our m. So we're going to use our slope formula, x1, y1, x2, y2. So we're going to have 6 minus 5 over 4 minus 2. 6 minus 5 is 1. 4 minus 2 is 2. So we get a slope of 1/2. Now, the question is, how can we find our b? How can we find our y-intercept if we're not given a graph? And we've got 2 different ways we can do it, and I'm going to do each problem both ways. So one way that we can do this is we can take our y equals mx plus b equation and we can plug in x1 and y1 in the spots of y and x, as well as our slope, and we can solve for b. So my y1 is 5. I'm going to put my equals. My slope I know is 1/2. In parentheses, I'm going to put x1, which is 2, and then I'm going to put my plus b. So anytime I have a number outside of a parentheses, it tells me I need to multiply. So 1/2 times 2, half of 2 is 1. And then I bring down my plus b. And then my last step is going to be I need the b by itself. So what I do to one side, I do to the other. So 4 is going to equal b. And now that I have a b of 4, I can write my equation in slope-intercept form. Y equals 1/2 x plus 4. And so that's an easy, simple way that we can find our b, is just to simply plug our slope and one of our points into y equals mx plus b. Our other option is we can use point slope form that we learned about last lesson. So y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. And so we go y, I need to change my y1 to a negative because I have to flip the sign. 1/2 parentheses x, and then I change my 2 to negative because again I have to flip the sign. And really what I'm doing with point slope form is I'm doing the same thing I just did with slope intercept. It just takes a little bit longer, and I got to remember to flip my signs of my point. So I need to distribute my 1/2. So y minus -5 is 1/2 x. Remember, anything times 1 is whatever we multiplied it by, so we get 1/2 x. 1/2 of -2 is going to become a -1. I want y all by itself, so I'm going to add 5 to both sides. Add 5 to both sides, so y equals 1/2 x plus 4. So again, I get the same thing, and really I'm doing the same math. You just need to pick which way that you like best. So same thing, we need to find our slope. So again, x1, y1, x2, y2. So 3 minus 4 over 2 minus a negative 1. So we get a negative 1 over 3 is our slope. Now we need to find our b. So again, we can take our y equals mx plus b. We can take our y1 and our x1 and plug them into our equation. So 4 equals, my slope is a negative 1/3 times a negative 1 plus b. I know that 1 negative times a negative is a positive, and 1/3 times 1 is simply going to be 1/3 plus b. My last step is I need to subtract 1/3, subtract 1/3. So b equals 3 2/3. And again, you can plug this into Desmos if you're unsure. And then or you can also write it as a decimal. And when we write this in equation, it's y equals a negative 1/3 x plus 3 2/3. So again, we can do the same thing in slope-intercept form. Point slope form equals m parentheses x minus x1. Y minus 4 equals a negative 1/3 x. And again, go away. And we change the negative 1 to a positive 1. So I need to distribute. Y minus 4 equals a negative 1/3 x minus 1/3. I need the y all by itself, so I add 4. I add 4. Y equals a negative 1/3 x plus 3 2/3. So again, it does not matter how you do it. Either way, you're going to get the correct answer. All right. So first, again, we need to find our slope. So negative 3 minus a negative 3 over 4 minus a negative 2. So I get negative 3 plus 3 and 4 plus 2. So I'm going to get 0 over 6. So my slope is simply 0. So if we use our y equals mx plus b, negative 3 equals, our slope is 0. X is negative 2 plus b. I know that anything times 0 is 0, and it's simply going to go away. So negative 3 equals b. And we write our equation. Y equals 0x minus 3. And again, anything times 0 goes away, so it's simply y equals negative 3. Now, if they give us 2 points, and I realize very quickly that my slope is 0 or undefined, what I need to do is I need to find what number is repeated. And it's my y values that are repeated. And because y is repeated, my equation is going to be y equals negative 3. And so that's just kind of a little shortcut that if you can remember, you can use. If our x's are repeated, it's going to be x equals whatever our x value is. All right, one more time. Y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. So y plus 3 equals 0 times negative x plus 2. Sorry, guys. So I need to distribute my 0, but anything times 0 is 0. So I get y plus 3 equals 0. I need my y all by itself. So what I do to one side, I need to do to the other. So y equals negative 3. All right, I want you to do this last one on your own, and I want you to check it with the completed notes on Canvas.